Today, more than 90% of the world's pigeons are silently contributing to a meat business that is worth multiple billions of dollars. Pigeons were once a symbol of freedom and peace. Despite the fact that it might sound unusual, have you ever pondered the procedure by which millions of pigeons are raised and processed each year? The voyage of these messengers of peace in the modern day begins at specialized farms, where each bird is carefully picked, nourished, and raised under optimal conditions until the day they are harvested and taken to the factory. This is the beginning of the hidden journey that these birds take. In that location, these humble birds are converted into high-quality food that is consumed all over the world. This is accomplished through the accuracy of cutting-edge machinery and the talented hands of workers. Today, we invite you to accompany us as we trace the path from the farm to the factory and unearth the unseen story that lies behind the meat business of a bird that we believed we had so well understood. This video is going to reveal everything there is to know. The industry that deals in pigeon meat has not only managed to survive over the course of the last few decades, but it has also witnessed spectacular expansion. Over 700 million pigeons are raised annually in China, which accounts for nearly 80% of the world's total production. China is a powerhouse in the modern animal farming industry, and it leads by a significant margin. To be more specific, what is the true cause for the increased demand for pigeon meat? In comparison to chicken, pigeon meat not only has a higher protein content, but it also has a lower cholesterol level and is abundant in vitamin B12, iron, and zinc. As a result, it is considered a superfood capable of strengthening immunity, raising energy levels, and facilitating the regeneration of blood. Pigeon farming is conducted on a modest scale, even in countries such as France, the United States of America, Egypt, and India. Pigeon farming is generally targeted toward providing high-end markets. Pigeons, who had been domesticated for more than 5,000 years, were transformed into spies with wings during World War II. They were able to transmit critical messages through bomb blasts at an astounding pace. Nevertheless, the irony is that they are frequently referred to as rats with wings in many areas because, to the noise they make and the droppings they leave behind, these droppings can cause up to $11 billion in damages annually due to corrosion and pollution related to infrastructure. Pigeons are now being produced on farms not for the purpose of sending messages, but rather for the purpose of food. Perhaps this is because cities have had enough of them. We are going to now concentrate on understanding how millions of pigeons are raised at the largest approved farms in China, despite the fact that there are some controversies that are taking place on the sides. First things first, we will start by selecting breeding pairs of pigeons who are in good health. Pigeons are the foundation of any successful farm. Monogamous pigeons are known for remaining with a single partner throughout their entire lives. It is therefore necessary to maintain a ratio of 1 male to 1 female when pairing them together, and to make sure that they are between 6 and 8 months old in order to achieve maximum productivity. The harmony in the nest begins to break down if the balance deviates from a 1:1 ratio. The male pigeons, on the other hand, are powerful and strong, with broad chests. They frequently coo and strut with confidence, and their tails are proudly spread out over their rear ends. Females, on the other hand, are smaller, more subdued, and more reserved than males. Preening and feeding the females is a gentle yet natural wooing ritual that the males normally perform prior to mating with the females. It is very crucial to consider the timing of mating. Pigeons only engage in this behavior during the early morning hours or the late afternoon hours, which are times when the surroundings is calm and unfazed by disturbances. Despite the fact that each mating only lasts a few seconds, it occurs numerous times in order to guarantee that the fertilization process is successful. And from this point forward, they will formally enter the phase of becoming parents. Pigeon mothers, in contrast to other types of livestock, go through a gestation stage that lasts between 8 and 12 days before they begin laying eggs. White in color, oval in shape, and with shells that are quite thin, the eggs are little and oval in shape. Pigeon eggs are smaller than chicken eggs, but they are more uniform and constant in shape. Pigeon eggs are also more uniform. During the breeding season, there are approximately 5 to 6 clutches, and each clutch typically only includes 2 eggs. These eggs are placed 1 day apart within each clutch. The pigeon possesses this one-of-a-kind biological distinction. Although they produce a smaller number of eggs, the chick survival rate that they achieve through natural incubation is remarkable, frequently reaching between 85 and 90%. The eggs, however, are not incubated naturally as they are in traditional farms. Rather, they are incubated by machines that are able to process vast amounts of eggs at once. This is done to ensure that the eggs are of a constant quality and to lessen the amount of stress that the parent pigeons experience as they prepare for the next clutch. In order to proceed with this stage, it is necessary to collect the eggs in advance. The eggs are collected by the farmer in a prompt and careful manner immediately after the mother pigeon has laid the second egg. Because the mother pigeon is extremely sensitive during this time, it is necessary to produce false eggs in advance and promptly place them in the nest as replacements. This protects the mother from becoming aware of the situation and ensures that the breeding cycle remains consistent. Pigeon eggs are carefully cleaned using a gentle, dry cloth once they have been gathered. This is done in order to eliminate dust without causing any damage to the fragile shells of the eggs. After that, each egg is candled on a regular basis with a specialized light in order to monitor the development of the embryo. This practice ensures that only eggs that contain viable embryos are chosen for selection. The determination of their gender is quite challenging at this time, in contrast to the relatively simpler task of determining the gender of chicken or quail eggs. The eggs that meet the criteria are then carefully arranged in specialized trays and placed inside incubators. The incubators are kept at a constant temperature of approximately 37.50 degrees Celsius, which creates the optimum conditions for the embryos to develop in a manner that is both healthy and uniform. In the event that this procedure for handling and incubating eggs is not carried out appropriately, it has the potential to result in considerable losses throughout the entire upcoming breeding season for pigeons. And then, after approximately 17 to 18 days of incubation, the chicks will typically emit mild chirps or peeping sounds to announce their presence and draw the attention of their mother or the people who are caring for them, at precisely the moment that the eggs start to split open, thereby bringing the teeny tiny new lives into the world. When the majority of the eggs have successfully hatched, the staff gently remove the chicks from the incubators and place them in the chambers that are designed to warm them up. Because of this, their bodies are kept warm, their breathing is stabilized, and they are able to gradually adjust to the environment outdoors. Within the first 12 to 24 hours after hatching, the chicks start getting a specific meal that is rich in nutrients. During the first few days of their lives, each chick is fed 4 to 5 times a day, with each meal consisting of around 2 to 3 milliliters. This is just enough to stimulate the digestive system and sustain consistent growth. It is because of this that farms are able to standardize the entire process, reduce the amount of time needed for rearing, and maximize productivity, with thousands of chicks growing in a consistent manner every day. After this period, the chicks are carefully brought back to the loft, where they will be nurtured by the father pigeon who is responsible for their care. That's exactly what you heard. Parenting is something that is done by the father. In addition, pigeons are known to provide their young with pigeon milk, which is a characteristic that is often exclusively observed in mammals. When it comes down to it, this milk is actually a thick, nutrient-rich white fluid that is produced by the crop of parrot pigeons. In spite of the fact that this employment is not a simple chore, these devoted fathers are able to handle it exceptionally successfully because to their unique senses. You might fail to notice the apparatus that is utilized in the process of rearing newborn pigeons, which is commonly referred to as a brooder or holding rack. Built with mesh frames that allow air to circulate, this incubator is designed to provide a warm, secure, and pleasant atmosphere that encourages the proper development of chicks. Small leg bands made of plastic or lightweight metal are placed on the chicks' legs once they have reached a certain level of strength. In order to facilitate the management of the flock, the tracking of information, the differentiation of age groups, and the selection of breeding stock, these bands are equipped with identification numbers, symbols, or colors. After some time has passed, the chicks are removed from their parents, and the pigeons are sent to a centralized raising facility. While there, a specialized food is administered to the pigeons in order to maximize their rate of growth and the quality of their flesh. As a consequence of this, The diet that is consumed throughout this period acquires noticeably higher nutritious content. The baby pigeons are given a mixture that has been deliberately manufactured to have the effect of promoting rapid development. Combined with finely ground maize for energy and roasted, finely crushed soybeans to add both additional protein and healthy fats, this combination contains high-protein industrial pellets, which are needed for the creation of muscle. These pellets supply critical amino acids that are necessary for muscle formation. Porridge is given to the pigeons 2 to 3 times a day, with a total daily intake that does not exceed 30 to 35 grams. The process of feeding animals is carried out by automated devices in contemporary farms. Pigeons are provided with appropriate drinking water through the use of mechanical nipple drinkers, or cups that are mounted along the cages. This ensures that the pigeons always have access to clean water. Along with a nutrition regimen that is rigorously managed, contemporary facilities are also invested in order to produce the best possible living environment for this robust and energetic bird. The bottom of the cages are equipped with automated systems that are equipped with manure collection troughs. These troughs are used to collect waste and send it to a separate processing area on a regular schedule, which is normally once every 1 to 2 days. A proactive approach to illness prevention for the flock is adopted by administering vaccinations on a regular basis. This is in addition to the maintenance of hygienic premises. In addition to safeguarding the overall health of the pigeon flock and assuring the continued profitability of farming over the long term, this essential strategy helps avoid prevalent infectious diseases such as salmonellosis, avian influenza, and Newcastle disease. A pigeon has a lifespan that is normally somewhere between 10 and 15 years. They only need to be kept for around 1.5 to 2 months when they are being raised for the purpose of producing meat. When pigeons are fully feathered, have a solid build, meat that is firm, and an average weight of 500 to 600 grams, this is the golden stage for generating high-quality commercial products, meat that is neither too young and tender nor too old and rough. Pigeons that have reached this stage do not have any of these characteristics. It is common practice to begin the procedure of capturing pigeons early in the morning. This is done in order to reduce the likelihood of the birds becoming agitated, flying in an unpredictable manner, or being hurt while being captured. Collecting breeding pairs for the purpose of sale or harvesting pigeons for the purpose of producing meat are the 2 primary routes that are commonly followed during the harvesting process. When the specifications are met, the animals are placed into customized plastic cages that include ventilation gaps and compartments of the proper size. This is done to prevent collisions and reduce the amount of stress that the animals experience while being transported. Last but not least, the cages are put onto specialized vehicles that are fitted with ventilation and cooling systems. This guarantees that the pigeons will continue to be stable, clean, and healthy, and that they will be prepared for the next voyage to the processing factory, where each gram of meat will be handled meticulously to ensure that it is of high quality for the consumers. As soon as the pigeons are delivered to the processing factory by the trucks, a closed processing system that incorporates precision and synchronization is put into operation. In order to receive the raw materials, the cages that contain the birds are transported to the receiving area. The birds are then strung on an automatic conveyor line, and they are transported in a sequential manner to the processing room, all while adhering to stringent food hygiene regulations. In order to maintain the natural freshness of each bird, the processing time is kept to a minimum, which is less than 30 seconds. Following the use of a specialized cooling system, the birds are then put through a hot water feather removal machine. This equipment makes use of high-speed rotary technology to completely remove feathers without causing any harm to the skin. It is possible for the plant to process between 1,000 and 1,200 birds each hour on average, which allows it to maintain a steady supply for supermarkets, restaurants, and major distribution systems. At long last, the birds arrive at a contemporary packing facility that makes use of vacuum technology to improve the bird's freshness and reduce the risk of bacterial contamination. It is important to note that certain batches are seasoned in order to accentuate the typical sweetness of the meat. And then, from those meticulously packaged trays of meat, the pigeon starts on an exciting new chapter, becoming the essential component in an infinite number of meals that are visually magnificent. Each dish is likely to fascinate customers and leave them wanting more. regardless of whether it is roasted to a golden crisp with crunchy skin or deep fried to a fragrant, crispy perfection. In the event that you ever have the opportunity to travel to China, you will have the opportunity to indulge in this dish at one of the country's restaurants. These restaurants serve millions of messengers of peace every year, demonstrating the country's extensive culinary tradition and profound admiration for this one-of-a-kind delicacy.